Alright guys, welcome back to the Idle Adventure video. So I know I'm a little bit late towards this, not in terms of the day, you lot might be confused, but the update dropped one day later than what was supposed to. Normally drops Tuesday morning, where for me it did drop Wednesday morning, which completely messed up my schedule. But we've done our summons. It's always the same with these banners. You always, because of the guarantees, you always get them guaranteed at 5-star, maybe around the middle. If you're lucky, you would get to a 6-star. But even though I think we did get shafted, it's kind of standard stuff when it comes towards deepening out, right? For Quitty, potentials always forget to do it, but you want to give her attack. The main reason why is because she is a 65 range character, so she will stay in the back line. And then this debuff, which we're going to in a second, deals damage based on her attack, right? So if we wanted to do more damage, which is kind of what you want in the game a little bit, give her attack. So do I think this character's worth summoning? No. I was actually debating if I should summon this time around. And in fact, this might have been and almost was the first character I was going to skip on this game, mainly for two reasons, or three actually. One, it is Valenti. I generally don't care about the character, a little bit of bias towards it, but I don't really like the OC characters in Grand Cross. I will say I actually really like Lilia because she had one unique artwork. This is imported straight from Grand Cross. Not that it's lazy, but I would have preferred to even see the Mark II Valenti one. If we do get Eastern, I will like her and I actually will enjoy a little bit. But the other two things is, well, she's a debuffer. And we just got a character to come out. Granted, Berserkman is kind of maxing out passive anyway. But the Triumphant skill from Elizabeth, the enemy team does do more damage the more debuffs. Max to 3, obviously. So, like, just having this constant debuff on the enemies is, like, just guaranteeing them to do more damage. So I'm not too sure the trade-off is really worth it a little bit there. And also, while it's not the anniversary, in 4 to 6 weeks time, 8 weeks even a little bit, we are going to be getting in June basically our beta anniversary. They're not going to call it the beta anniversary, but it might treat it a little more special, and I do think it's probably a little bit worth seeing for that one, especially considering while we don't know the leaks just yet or who's coming next. Very likely we're going to get Commandment, and if it's Gluxing it like I want it to be, then that would be kind of exciting. So yeah, I do think for most people, you should probably end up skipping, because I feel like, if anything, this character might just be relegated towards being a Knighthood boss unit, and it's just for the passive. She does bind. The bind is 0.6 seconds. Not great. You're not even going to get use out of it. So the only use you're going to really get out of it is in Knighthood bosses, where you apply it every 5 seconds. And even if the debuff is short, as long as you apply that bind when it's required, then yeah, the character's going to be pretty decent. She doesn't do anything on a normal skill. And then, like I said, the ultimate is decent attack. It's like kind of regular, pretty decent AoE. But the problem is, like I just say, her attack herself is a little bit lower. Normally debuffers, and I don't really have anyone to compare it to. If we put on my old video of the debuffer Diane, right, the Knighthood plus one, she has got 410. So I would say this Valenti is a little bit on the lower end. I was hoping she'll be a bit more. I mean, it's only 4k less, right? But debuffers typically have less attack than, I guess, your typical attacker. Not to say they can't give a high attack for a debuffer. You know, we saw a Devilish attacker, but she's really low attack compared to actual HP and defense. So I would have liked her to get a bit more actual attack here, but yeah, she's just a PvP character. Like I said, you probably have some use a little bit in towards Knighthood bosses. And then I guess in, you know, she's got some AoE skills here. So I guess, you know what, in Tower Trials, another good AoE light type character could be decent. And you know what, this actual ability here, Dark Matter, lowering attack by 50%, also lowering the damage taken, and also as well, applying this at 50% attack speed lower. It's pretty decent. But you know, nothing really worth the chase right now. Okay, let's check animations here, because I've yet to see them. I will say, I always do like the Idols models. They all look sick, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Valenti. So she does what she normally does in Grand Cross. So she does the punch, but for some reason, really long range. I feel like they kind of whipped that one out a little bit. I don't know if that's like... Oh, to be fair, we are versing this in. I mean, you know, it makes more sense now. And then that's the ultimate. Yeah, her animations are really cool. I think I would have preferred the actual Mark II Valenti one, I gotta say, because I prefer the look on it. Plus, like, the coat, the bigger arms, looks pretty cool. You know, it's alright. I mean, I'm always a bit biased, because whenever I see a character in Grand Cross, seeing just an idol, I always appreciate it a little bit more. But let's jump up towards other PvP content. Alright, let's plop her in. Let's put her ultimate a little bit early on. And let's see if she does anything. Now, remember, she is a little bit on the lower dupe side. It's only 5-star. I really don't invest into her right now. But let's see if she actually hits the targets. Pretty big AoE, though. It's kind of funny how they do it. So I think we can see they are affected, right? Or is that the Triumphant buff? I mean, the problem is, though, is... One was one build there. Damage okay. I mean, I'm not expecting much out of her. But, like, when it comes towards PvP content, it's very, very hard to especially with a debuffer, to like see if she's having value, right? I think obviously most of her value came from obviously just buffing up with Elizabeth, who doesn't need to be high dupe level, and is making your Berserk a little better. I mean, granted, we did have the actual debuffer on the actual Valenti, so she did make it so they took more damage, and maybe that made a big difference towards Berserk Medi clearing through. It's just the little things, right? Like, it's going to be very, very hard to track here a little bit. I will say the damage seemed a little bit okay there. Like, I expect her to do nothing, which is a little bit surprising. So her actual, if we can look at her damage here, you know what? Considering Berserk Medi's doing everything, right? I think, because she does like 300k on like the actual initial burst of damage, and then that poison damage, because it scales up her attack, right? That seems to be like, that seems to be getting a lot of value. You know what? Maybe I'm sleeping a little bit. I know we only just played 2 games there a little bit, but that seemed, like, she's actually doing damage at a 5-star, which is kind of rare a little bit from newer characters. So you can see she did, like, what? Yeah, she does. You can kind of see it because it's so quick. I should probably open it up, actually. But, like, she does, like 50, 60k a little bit, like 100k, 200k on the initial burst. And that damage over time is coming from the poison. Like, I know Berserk Medi. I mean, to be fair, she's kind of cooking. Oh, you know what? 1.6. I mean, she's 5-star. She's doing damage comparable to Escanor. I mean, Escanor obviously a double a little bit. But I was saying that damage over time from that ultimate does seem pretty decent if you get towards a high dupe level. And remember, she's only got 400k attack, right? So one of those little damage over time effects is only doing like 200k. Hang on, we might have a decent character in our hands here. I'm not actually fully disappointed now. Because, yeah, okay, let's see quick. So... yeah, about like 500k there. And you can see the damage over time she's stacking up. Huh. You know what? She's doing more damage than Escanor. Escanor's super awakened. Aye. To be fair. Escanor's ultimate in the ultimate rotation is a lot further down. So she is, check again. So about 500k there on the actual initial target on the ultimate. Unfortunately, I think Berserk Medi killed him more on time. So she's not scaling up too much there, but... huh. You know what? I'm actually impressed. So you have the first initial burst, about 600k there on the ultimate. Maybe even the actual single target too. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of surprised because she's a 5-star. One of the biggest things and the problems right now, there's the ultimate too. You know, she actually might be really good in Tower Trials then. I mean, you got to remember, she's doing okay damage, which is impressive for a 5-star. But also as well, she's applying that debuff. Some other characters, and maybe even have herself as well, if you time it properly, where her actual debuff is making you do more damage to the dark matter. Okay, she gets a pass from me. I actually think she was actually really good there in PvP. We are going to start off with this. So we're going to apply our debuffs here. And then we're going to fill up with Escan Ultimate plus some big AoEs from the other characters. Lights, though, getting a lot of AoE love recently. So we should be able to clear through. Granted, I'm a little bit behind when it comes towards Tower Trials. No sins other than Gopher. So I guess there's Medi as well. So how much damage you doing here? I mean, yeah. And we are obviously, I think, a little bit under-leveled when it comes to, or over-leveled for where we should be at right now. But that's not bad. Like, she's 5-star. Like I said, the problem right now in this game is characters, when you get them for the first time, especially at 5-star, a lot of them I feel like are almost unusable. I'm not really getting that vibe from this character. I think she actually might be usable at low deep level. The problem is always accuracy. I can't lie. So yeah, she starts off with the AoE. And then she's somehow doing more damage than everyone else. I mean, King's slowly creeping up a little bit because he's got better procs than his AoE. Guys, I'm not going to lie and say I'm not actually impressed right now. This is... for a 5-star character, is doing things a little bit. I can't lie. Like, Escanor's 2 stars higher. And Escanor's probably likely ulting after the actual Valenti already applied her debuffs. Granted, the Valenti might be doing too much damage anyway. And King is kind of a GOAT as well. King is like 4 stars higher. Like, I think a lot of people agree that King is, the Fat King, is one of the better, if not like the best AoE, not the AoE, because there's that many, but like light types. So you're just constant 4 mil, and it just ticks over time. I wonder if she does like a lot of hits. Is that why it always lands? Yeah, Escanor slowly creeping out there a little bit. Okay. Okay. Valenti is actually decent. I guess another thing I noticed is her accuracy. So this is Diane's accuracy, because she is a little bit older character. Has 16k, where Valenti does have 18k. I don't know, maybe that's enough to kind of like make her actually deal some damage, right? Because accuracy is kind of always a problem. Or maybe the new systems in place makes it a bit better. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you for watching. I've been towards the end. I'm not going to see summon, because I still think you don't probably need her. Like, you actually can do about her. It's definitely better to save for the next coming banners. Whether we do get a special rate up half anniversary level banner in June, because it is technically the first year of the game, but in the beta form. So they might drop a really big banner there. And if anything, you might want to even just save for the anniversary. And not to save, like, to skip everything, but have some gems stockpiled. Because remember, you always got some of that anniversary character, which is going to be 250k. And you also got to spend another 250k when it comes towards the actual side banner. So it's good to skip every other banner every now and again. But I will say, I don't regret it. In fact, like, I think if anything, Escanor, I kind of regret it a little bit. Not to say, like, I didn't regret it because it's Escanor. I do not feel bad about summoning Escanor. But I kind of stopped using him. And I'm probably going to do that a little bit, obviously, with Valenti. But I can see Valenti getting more dupes over time, and me actually using her. And to be fair, I mean, this is clearly what they're building up to. We'll have to wait and see. Is they are building up a 7 catastrophe team, where we're going to have 7 characters of all of the catastrophes on one team, and kind of meant to counter the sins by silencing them, by what's the other one do? Yeah, the sins with dark matter. Like, you know what? I can see it. And Valenti, over time, of course, you're going to dupe her out. And by the time the team's actually real, you have 7 catastrophes. And we've already gotten 2 in like 6 months. So it might be like a year or 2 before it finishes. But by then, you might have Valenti upwards like 9 to like 11 stars. So she might be cooking. The fact she's putting out decent numbers at 5-star, comparable to my King at like 9-star, level 100, and Escanor as well. I'm actually looking forward to deeping her out. I can't lie. So guys, that can wrap up the video. Should you summon? Probably not. But you know what? If you pick up the character through tickets, or you just get her over time over the next few months or so, don't feel too bad about it. I actually kind of surprised me today, which I was not expecting, because I almost, like I could say, I almost skipped her and didn't make this video. But I'm glad I did. So guys, thank you for watching, and yeah.